got quite a lot of knitting done during the weekend, and now we are halfway through the yoke, which is so exciting because it's actually starting to look like a sweater. The increases are so beautiful. While I was knitting the increases, I sometimes got distracted and increased when I wasn't supposed to increase and forgot to increase when I was supposed to increase. But I figured out a way to fix it so I didn't have to redo the whole thing every time I made a mistake. I placed a marker here at the beginning of this section of the pattern, which turned out to be a lifesaver because it helped me keep track of the number of rows whenever I lost track. And since I'm only increasing every other row, whenever I got confused, I could just count and see if I was on an even number row or an odd number row. So this was very helpful. I also really need to change the cable length right now because it's getting really crowded in here. So I think I'm going to do that today before starting to knit. The raglan increases have been so fun that I think I might want to make another raglan sweater after this one. I have another exciting craft update, which is this beautiful red canvas bag that I made. It is the hang around bag by Puff and Pencil. It's a free pattern and I made it, I think, on Monday or Sunday. It has my ballet stuff in it right now because I took it to ballet class yesterday, and I also took it to lunch at my parents' house, and my mom really loved this bag, so I'm going to make another one for her. I feel like the fabric looks like a really bright red on camera, but in real life it's a little bit more of a maroony color. So I think today I'm just going to prepare and cut the fabric, and we'll do the sewing either tomorrow or on Friday. And then I'm going to continue knitting the Monday sweater. I am now done cutting out all the fabric and the lining and the interfacing for my bag. That took me an hour and a half. Tomorrow I'm going to sew it all up together and hopefully finish it. I meet my parents on Sunday, so I'm pretty sure I can get it done before then, but I have plans on Saturday, so if I can't finish it tomorrow, I'll have to finish it on Friday. So I switched out the cables into the longest one that I have, and it's much roomier. And I also started to use an actual notebook to keep track of rounds, and this is how it's going. I'm using 4mm needles for 2 of my projects right now, and I only have 1 pair, and I work on both of them daily, so I keep having to change out the needles every time I'm changing projects, and I got tired of doing that, so I ordered my first metal needles. These are also from Knit Pro, and I'm really curious if I end up liking metal needles. We are this far along in our yoke. I only have 10 rows each to go, and I heard that types of needles can affect your gauge, so I think I'm going to keep the wooden needle on the sweater and use the metal needles for my other project. I didn't have any plans for today, so I was going to spend the day at home sewing the bag I'm making for my mom. But my husband texted me earlier and asked if I wanted to have lunch. So I'm getting ready right now. My makeup is all done and I just need to change. I almost missed the bus in the morning, so I couldn't show you what I wore today, but this is my fit of the day. I wore this with a coat to keep me warm, and I also wore my new Adidas. We got a little red and green pop of color going on. I'm now back from lunch and I'm going to get started on today's sewing. I'm going to start off by ironing on my inner facing. I'm trying to sew the cords for the ribbon on the bag, and I'm so nervous because I'm really bad at top stitching. This is not bad. Now we're going to sew the actual body of the bag. I desperately need to get actual long rulers for sewing. Right now, this 12cm ruler is all I have. I used to have a bunch of rulers for sewing and pattern making, but they all got lost when I was moving. That was easy. I'm done sewing the body, so now I'm gonna flip it to the right side, and it's definitely taking a lot less time than the first time I made it, and it definitely looks so much better. Now I'm just going to repeat what I did for the outside of the bag with the lining. I have so much trouble sewing slippery fabric. Hope this goes well. The tension's a little bit off, but I think it's going to be fine. I think this time it's taking like half the time it took the first time I made it. Okay, we're finally going to put the lining and the outer layer together. Almost done. I just need to sew the last part of the handle onto the bag and then close the lining and I'll be done. My camera battery died, so I wasn't able to film the last stitches of the bag, but it's done. It's a little bit wrinkly right now, but it's gonna be fine. So here is my first bag, and here is the second bag that I made for my mom. I just sent my mom the picture of the finished bag, and she just texted me and said that it's prettier than a Gucci bag.